Because the longevity of the sewer plants is like 20 years. So if you're taking out a 30-year bond, after 20 years, the people are taking out a new one, plus still paying off 10 years. So they were supposed to be putting that 200 and blah, 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 I don't know the exact numbers, I'm
Just
sorry.
the fee.
But they were supposed to be putting that payment into, to offset us now having to pay
Right,
for
they
a
never
new
did. They
upgrade.
never restarted the account.
So do we ever find where that money went?
Not yet. They just mixed it with the A funds and spent it as they wanted to. We started that account for the fees. We just started, what, 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Yeah. It was never a fund.
The only thing
It
that
should
we
have started
could,
in
Because-
95.
yeah, the only thing that we could guess, and it's a guess,
Is they put it in the A fund?
is that they kept borrowing from the water to take care of the A, kept borrowing from the sewer to take care of the A. Because the A is the fund that drives taxes up
Right.
and down.
Right.
So in order to keep the A fund within reach of no taxes or 1.5%, whatever they were raising, okay, let's take money from the water or sewer. And that's what they were doing. Now, that's fine, but you have to pay it back. You have to pay it back within a year at an interest rate set by the Board of Trustees. Okay, didn't happen.
And
So,
that was a lot of money. That could have been
Yeah.
close to $1 million or more.
well, really back in 1995, there was, like
Right.
Rich was saying, there was a fund supposed to, a resolution was passed that we're going to take, and I believe it was $10 at a time, for the facility charges, was going to be pulled out and put into a fund. That didn't happen either until 2 months ago, that we sat down and now we have 3 funds. One is the water, one is the sewer, and one is the facility charge. Okay? 3 accounts. So we went from 1995 to 2017. Okay? So as you see here, again, they budgeted $885,000, but they only took in $725,000, and that was including the, I'm sorry, it wasn't including the facility charge. Nothing on here includes the facility charges. Okay? 2016-17, they guessed wrong again. And 17-18, once more. And it just keeps going up. The gap between revenue, budget revenue, and revenue earned. Right now, this number of 534,398, again, is from the last quarter of last year and 3/4 of this year. That's equaling, it's totaling $534,398. That is not including the facility charges, which is over $168,000, I believe. This is what we have brought in, okay? This is what we plan to spend. Remember, we're saving a lot of money, the fact that we outsourced this wastewater plant. Okay, there's no more overtime. Even though in the line item budget, we still have money allocated for that, it would be our village clerk, our village treasurer, some manpower to do mock-outs that we need to do. We have clerical work because preparing the water and sewer bill. That's where it's coming out of. We took the village clerk and treasurer 33% of their time that was previously allocated in both these budgets down to 20% of their time. I believe the treasurer is a little bit less than the village clerk. So we stand in pretty good shape there too, but again, that's the conversation that we need to have someday. Okay, yes?
Why is the revenue so much lower for the coming year than the past year? Is it because it's right-sized now when you take out
This is
the-
exactly what we collected.
the fund?
This is exactly what we collected. This is the budget that was given to me by the operators.
Okay, but if we collected $753,000 last year, why would it be so much less this year? Did you pull out the water and facility charges from that number, or like why is there such a drastic difference in the revenue earnings?
difference in here also. This could have the facility charges in there, but I will check on that,
Okay.
okay?
I mean, when you add up the numbers, right, the water
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
and the sewer,
you're
it
right.
comes out around the same, it's like a $30,000 difference from what I can see here. I'm sorry, $300,000 difference, not 30,000,
30.
30,000.
I will get that answer.
I'm pretty sure, we'll check, but I'm pretty sure she's right, it includes the facilities.
Mhm.
And you don't.
What's that? I'm
I
sorry.
think their numbers, it did include the facilities. We'll check, but I'm pretty sure it did.
You know, it could have, in
Yeah.
ours,
And ours
I
doesn't.
pull the
Yeah.
facility
It sounds like
charges
it
out.
does. It sounds like it
When you add
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the new water, can you go back one slide? Let me just make sure my numbers are right.
Well,
'Cause I think
let's
I-
say Fridays, we usually go backwards. For
I think you
you,
had 448,
absolutely.
right? 444, okay. So 444 plus 589, it gives you like 1,037,000, around there.
you're going by the percentage of 1.5? Is that what
That's how we get the 500. If you take the 444 and do 1.5.
Oh, times 1.5? Oh, no,
Right.
I'm just adding up what the previous revenues were. So 309 plus the 753 of last year gives you 1,061,000. And then the budgeted revenue that you have here, the 444 plus the 589 gives you like 1,034,000. So it's close. So it seems like that's how you guys right-sized it.
Yeah.
That's what I just wanted to make sure that
Okay.
the forecast was right.
This, now the revenue earned this year, you can see the drastic. This was, my bill's too high, okay, we'll just lower it and go anyway.
Yeah,
That was the problem that was here. So, let's get to, do we have any questions on okay, this is for the wastewater plant, okay? Now, what I'm hearing from our financial people is that EFC is a very difficult group to deal with, okay? That being said, they're the only group that we should be dealing with because the savings is well worth the aggravation. We still have to make this decision as a board, and this is not part of the budget, so it doesn't have to be done prior to adopting the budget. If we want to go for the $1 million, or do we want to go for the $2 million? We need to visit the roads, curbing, sidewalks, come up with a rating system. That supposedly it's been done, but if it's been done, it's probably 5 years ago, which means that the road that was in good shape is not in good shape anymore. So this is something that we really need to deal with within the next 2 weeks, so we could send it out. In the meantime, we could start getting bids. We'll probably go with state bids, but still get those other contractors in there, because if they are lower, we could use the lower bid. State bid, we don't have to go out for contracts.
Well, don't you have to first determine what roads you're gonna do?
Well, yeah, that's what I said. So we have to go through and say that, you know, right off the bat, if we look at Newcastle Stone Ridge, you're looking at Decker as being one of the roads that needs to be redone from top to bottom, okay? And that will give us time, if that's the case, will give us the opportunity to make sure the catch basins are properly set, as well as the manholes and piping underneath. I don't believe there's any transite pipe there, right? So it's
Not there.
So before you take out the bond, or resolve to take out a bond, you guys are gonna do the proper due diligence
Yeah.
to see how much $1 million versus $2 million is gonna get us for the roads.
Now, we could take out a $2 million bond and use $1 million. You're
Mhm.
only paying back the $1 million.
My concern is that we'll take out a $2 million bond and need 5.
$2 million is not going to do the
We know
job.
that already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a step.
I know it's
by
not
step,
gonna
yeah.
be
No,
the lesson,
$2
it's gonna
million,
be
$2 million
more.
is not gonna do the job,
Yeah.
Right,
okay? But it's going to be, enough is enough now, let's start attacking the roads that need to be repaired. Instead of saying, well, it's in here, let's buy a truck. It's in here, well, let's keep the taxes low. It's in here,
mhm.
okay?
No, I agree.
So-
I swear.
So
to God,
it's
Tom
a
will-
promise from the board that the roads are going to be done, because that's the only thing that bond is going to be used for.
And then how is the board going to determine which roads get triaged and how, which ones get done first versus last? And
Well-
then I know last meeting you guys were talking about something on capital that maybe is wrong underneath.
I think where capital comes into Decker,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a bad drainage situation there, because it's always, something's always wrong there. That's coming down, what is coming down from, I believe, Rear Court, coming down, and that's why I said enter New York Rising, which has money set aside for cleaning
The wetland.
the
Culverts.
the culverts, where the,
Culverts.
that has to be
Addressed.
looked at, addressed, and engineered properly, rather than just, well, I engineered it,
Right,
we'll fix it next year. Some roads just might take top coating.
yeah. Clearly not all of them have,
Right.
the
They
worst
all don't have
infrastructure.
issues,
Right.
but most of them do.
But you have Tower Hill and Tolman that you know right off the bat, probably each of those roads would be a 2 million. Maybe not 2 million, but a lot.
It's gonna be a lot. Tolman,
Tolman not a state road?
no, Tolman is,
No.
it's not even a
And
county
there's a
road.
water main break there,
It's
so you can probably
It's
figure
it's
that.
our road.
Yeah, too bad it's not a state road.
But it's a start, and we have discussed grant writing,
Mhm.
so maybe there's some money out there for roads, who knows? Somebody's giving that $2 million out of
I
credit,
was just gonna say, I mean, they're writing
and they want to
checks
be
up the
anonymous,
road,
so we don't want to,
Right, it was very odd, right,
they,
just
they,
like dangling carrots.
people ask me, are you doing that? No, I'm not. If I had the $2 million, it would be used right here in Washingtonville. This was the schedule for our equipment that's already budgeted. The sewer and water department has $10,000 in its budget for the backhoe. We have one dump truck and a loader. So 25,000. Actually, looking at this, we have 25,000 in highways and streets. So highways and streets should have 15, with 10 going into the other water or sewer. So lessening the A and dispersing that in the F or the G.
515.
Because that's a dump truck. One dump truck,
I
15.
see 20. Oh, okay. I'm looking above it.
Okay. We're gonna go with the 15,000 dump truck.
Can I ask what we use a dump truck for here? I don't think I've ever seen one in the village.
They use it for water main breaks.
Okay.
They use it for snow plowing.
Oh, for
salting.
snow, okay.
They bring it to the middle of the village and like
Yeah.
all the snow and then they haul it
Oh,
over.
where do they take it?
Blow leaves in them.
I don't think you want to
The
know.
mountain.
No.
We used to bring it to
Illegal
Memorial
dumping of
Park.
snow?
Yeah.
Now we bring it to Vernal
They
Park.
dump it
Oh,
somewhere,
okay.
yeah.
They used to bring it to Memorial Park,
Yeah.
but then the salt content in the well was
Right.
carry the mulch,
It's just too
carry the mulch back, you know, we pick
Oh,
up the
okay.
mulch.
I mean, they are used.
I have a,
Okay.
I have a different picture of what a dump truck is in my head.
No, these big things.
You know, it's big.
We don't need to get into that.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
Just curious. Every
now,
time
one
I
of
see a dump
the-
truck, I'm like, where is this dump
Uh,
truck? Thank you.
You know, and if you happen to see the dump truck that we bought last year from the road money was used during plowing of cul-de-sacs, actually, and they did the driver was excellent in maneuvering. It has the wing on the side,
Mhm.
so it can move snow on the larger roads. But if you look at the other equipment, one of the things that I first said last year was, we need a tetanus shot to get into the trucks. And somebody asked me today, are all their driver's license up to date? I'm sure they are, but I'm more concerned with their vaccinations. Okay? So that's our budget.
So this final number compared to the one on
Throw that one out.
earlier this